Uttar Pradesh State Women Commission has proposed measures to improve women's safety, including barring male tailors from taking women's measurements and restricting men from training women in gyms and yoga classes. Now, the commission has also suggested other measures, such as placing female security personnel on school buses and hiring female staff in women's clothing stores, all this to enhance safety of women in public and commercial spaces. While safety has been at the center of these deliberations, some of these moves have raised questions. For instance, the proposal that no male tailor will be allowed to take measurements of women in clothing stores, or that only female trainers should work with women in gyms and yoga centers and also fitness centers. Now, is that too much interference in people's everyday lives? Women having a male tailor or a male yoga teacher is not unusual in this country. So by bringing in rules like this, are we trying to protect women or actually not respect her ability to make a choice or even set boundaries? That is what we will discuss. Please call us on the number that is flashing on your screens and tell us what are your views on this. We are also meanwhile joined by Jagmati Sangwan, who is a women's activist, and we also have former IPS officer Nirmal Kaur with us. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on this show. But first, let's also listen in to this conversation that my colleague had with Babita Chauhan, who heads the Women's Commission in Uttar Pradesh.
अगर आप एक महिला हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश में रहती हैं, ब्यूटी पार्लर, बुटीक, जिम, योगा, कहीं भी इस तरह के सेंटर्स पे जाती हैं, तो ये खबर आपके लिए है, क्योंकि महिला आयोग ने एक ऐसा फैसला लिया है जो महिलाओं को सीधे तौर पर उनकी रोज़मर्रा के कामकाज में प्रभावित करेगा। क्या है फैसला, समझने के लिए महिला आयोग की अध्यक्ष बबीता चौहान जी मेरे साथ हैं। बबीता जी, पता चला कि महिला आयोग ने महिलाओं के जिम ट्रेनर्स को लेके, बुटीक में काम करने वाले लोगों को लेके कुछ फैसला किया है। फैसला क्या है?
देखिए, ऐसा फैसला भी नहीं है, लेकिन इम्पोर्टेंट भी है, क्योंकि जैसे जिम है तो वहाँ ट्रेनर 99% क्या मैं समझती हूँ, शायद 100% जिम में जितने ट्रेनर हैं वो सब लड़के काम कर रहे हैं वहाँ, और जिम में जाने वाली 50% महिलाएं भी हैं। तो मेरा मानना है कि जो महिलाएं हैं, जो 50% आबादी है, उसके लिए अगर महिला ट्रेनर वहाँ रखी जाए तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत अच्छा रहेगा। ये मैं इस अनुभव के आधार पे भी कह सकती हूँ, क्योंकि मैं भी इसी समाज से हूँ, यहीं से आई हूँ, महिलाओं के बीच में मैंने बहुत काम किया है। दूसरा, अभी भी हम जैसे सुनवाई करते हैं और वहाँ सारी चीज़ें आती हैं, तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें इनसे कनेक्ट होके आती हैं हमारे पास। जैसे जिम है या ब्यूटी पार्लर हैं या बुटीक हैं जहाँ महिलाओं के कपड़े सिलाई होते हैं, या जो कोचिंग सेंटर हैं, तो बहुत सारी जगह ऐसी हैं कि जहाँ भी वो अभी पता नहीं क्यों अनदेखा ऐसा हो रहा था कि हम नहीं समझ पा रहे थे। लेकिन क्राइम की अगर बात की जाए, जब महिलाओं की सुरक्षा की बात है, जब हमारी सरकार भी इतने कॉन्शियस हैं, इतना अवेयर महिलाओं को कर रही हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि हम तो महिला आयोग हैं और महिलाएं हैं तो महिलाओं के हित की बात करेंगे। तो मुझे लगता है कि जब ट्रेनर अगर जिम में हैं, तो अगर लड़कियां रखी जाएंगी तो दो चीज़ होंगी। एक तो जो वहाँ महिलाएं या लड़कियां, बच्चियां जो जिम कर रही हैं वो सुरक्षित होंगी। दूसरा, हमारे यहाँ महिलाओं को काम मिलेगा।
Let me go across to my guests. Jagmati Sangwan, to you, ma'am. First, you're known for your fights against Khap Panchayats. Tell us, there are two views to this. One, a very vocal one, that let women make their own choices, don't set boundaries for them, let them decide. And the other one that feels that, this will actually make it safer for women because you don't know prevention is better than cure. But how long are we just going to focus only on protection and sort of curfews and these kind of restrictions instead of really talking to men?
Yes, I strongly feel that it's the decision of State Women Commission UP is not going to help the safety security of women. Rather, it's attack in personal spaces. Personal spaces, and I am an international player of volleyball, and I come from a village of Haryana, but we have been training with boys, and actually when we train with boys, our skills get more refined and more effective. This is my personal experience also, and we use these experiences in sports here again and again. In beauty parlors, yes, it is a common sense thing that males are not allowed in those spaces here also. But for gym training, for tailoring, and this all, it seems
Okay.
that the decision has been
Okay.
made without applying the mind
Okay.
deeply. These are superficial observations. The decision seems.
I'll come to Nirmal Kaur next, but we also have a caller with us, Harish from Hyderabad. Harish, tell us, you heard about what the UP Women's Commission has decided. So do you think it's a good call, or do you think that this was unnecessary?
A friend of mine, there are almost 5,40,000 in entire UP. The tailors are working well, and all are men's tailors. Ladies, those who have started just as a startup business from the last year only, as per the instructions from the Prime Minister of India, they started just now. And if the men's tailors will not stitch tailoring for the ladies, then the ladies will go almost without food. This is my request to the country. Don't take these kind of decisions.
Okay, that's a very important point. Nirmal Kaur, as a former law enforcer, what do you think, ma'am? Women-only spaces, do these moves actually make a difference when it comes to safety for women?
I think the whole thing is being taken out of context and exaggerated just to create some kind of false panic and alarm. If you see the thing in perspective, first of all, it's in proposal stage. And it doesn't say that if women are being provided to train women in gyms or tailors, automatically it is for women who opt for women tailors or who are very uncomfortable. If you see, one very prominent news item is datelined Shamli district. Shamli district is predominantly a Muslim majority district. And Kairana, one of the subdivisions, Kairana is more than 65% Muslim population. There, the district probationary officer, though it's just a proposal which was discussed in some meeting, he has issued these guidelines, Hamid Hussain himself. Because, as we are all aware, Muslim women are much more reserved when it comes to, going to a male doctor or a male gynae or a male tailor or a male, whatever, or getting makeup done by males or, getting their saris done by saris tie-up for ceremonial occasional by male. So this is kind of, Hamid Hussain is in a great hurry to implement this. Issued guidelines for that. He's a district probationary officer in Shamli district. And you see, this is to create a choice for women. Women who do not want to use male gym trainers or male, it will create them a choice. It's not going to bar men from doing women's work. It is because, and also provide more employment opportunities for women. Right now, if you see, most of the Muslim women I know, they go to these boutique kind of tailors, or the ladies who stitch at home.
That's a valid point, ma'am.
Dipender
Singh from Patiala joins us. He's also another caller. Mr. Singh, what has your experience been like? So you heard what the UP State Women Commission has proposed, basically banning male trainers for women when it comes to yoga classes or even gyms, or even restricting male tailors from taking measurements of women. Do you think that this is a good call and will enhance safety for women?
No. So this is a very subjective matter. I don't think it's a good call because, on one hand, we are contrasting Indian society with certain sections of other societies and even other countries, saying that we don't box our women into veils and, behind curtains and into compartments. And on the other hand, we are taking this step which will do exactly that. It will actually trigger that. And also, we are not seemingly trusting the own, intellect of women to make a decision. This is not something which is forced. So women would know if there's a certain gym trainer or a tailor who they shouldn't go to. Yeah. So we should leave this decision to the women instead of regularizing this through such diktats.
Absolutely, I agree with you completely on that. Ms. Sangwan, there are also people who say that where is this going to stop? Tomorrow will you also say that there should not be male doctors for women because, these bans and these kind of restrictions, while I completely agree with Nirmal ma'am also that this will also give opportunities for women, saying that no male should take measurements for women also in some ways feeds to the sexualization narrative that we have prevalent around us, saying that women get objectified, women get sexualized, but that often is not the case because having a male tailor in this country for a lot of women is not unusual.
I feel this segregation is not going to help us out. Rather, it will aggravate the situation. Uh, um, for example, earlier there were only female institutions, educational institutions, and all. But now, girls and boys, there are co-ed education institutions, colleges, universities, schools. There is no such problem as such. Why the Women Commission of UP is trying to create this
Right.
segregation? I don't feel any
Okay.
common
Okay, we
sense or
also have
logic
another
or
caller now.
rationality.
Yes, ma'am, I completely get your point. We
Rationality
have another
behind it.
caller, Rajiv from Delhi. Rajiv, the neighboring state of UP has made a very interesting proposal saying that male tailors will not be allowed to take measurements, and then gym trainers for women will be exclusively female. Do you think that this is a good decision, and do you think that this would warrant, this would actually bring in more safety for women?
जी यू आर वेरी राइट बट इसमें एक ही चीज हम बोलना चाहेंगे कि सबसे बड़ी जो बात इसमें प्रॉब्लम ये आएगी। अब आप ये सोच के देखिए कि अगर हमारे गांव में हम जाते हैं, यूपी जो एक पूरा तरीके से बड़ा तो देश वो पूरे विकसित तो नहीं है, वहाँ गांव के अंदर छोटे छोटे टेलर अपने घरों के अंदर लगाए रखते हैं। अब वो अगर किसी भी तरीके से जो वो उनकी रोजी रोटी होती है अगर वो ही छिन जाएगी तो किस तरीके से होगा? तो ये तो एक तरीके से गलत तरीके से हो रहा है ना। हर महिला को तो नहीं आता है टेलर करना, लेकिन वही जो पुरुष हैं जो वो कर रहे हैं, मान लीजिए उनके पास एक हाथ में कला है, उसी से वो अपने घर परिवार को संभाल लिया, वो उन्हीं पे हट जाएगा तो उनके तो हाथ कट जाएंगे। क्या करेंगे फिर? हमारा ये सवाल है, हम पूछना चाहते हैं।
Right. Let me take that question. Okay, Deepak from Mumbai also joins us, another big city caller joining us. Sir, something that the UP government has done, do you think that this is a good move, and do you think that it can be replicated in other states, or do you think that this is completely unnecessary and sets boundaries which are not really needed?
It's definitely a good move, ma'am, because till now there was not such a problem, but now in every sector, whether it is a hotel industry or courier industry or there's a tailoring and all, or any barber shops, everywhere these Muslim gents are creating a problem. So if UP Chief Minister is taking measures, what is wrong in that for protection of women?
Okay, let me take that question to Nirmal Kaur. Ma'am, one of the callers actually talked about, a lot of tailors losing jobs, because you've completely shut them out. Women will now be forced to go only to women tailors. Do you think that is something that is a cause of concern?
No, the question of forcing doesn't arise. This is, like it's a very misinformed stand to take that they are going to be excluded. It is a question of providing choice for women who do not want to go to male tailors or to male gym trainers or to male yoga. It is a question of choice. It's giving them a choice for those who want. As you see, the first to implement is that Hamid Hussain of Shamli district. Even though it is just in a very, very preliminary proposal stage, the things. Banisha Allahabad has gone on record, member of Women Commission, to say that it's a very, very preliminary mooted proposal, and if it is approved, then further steps will be taken. But you see, this segregate is not going to create any segregation. It's a question of providing a choice. It's a question of providing employment opportunities for women. These days we have these auto drivers, women. The other day I hired an auto, and very sweetly, a girl was there, and women are coming up in every field. So why not this? Provide them, and there's enough for everyone. It's not that male tailors are going to be out of jobs once women come. So it is,
Ms. Sangwan, there's an important question of choice, autonomy, women, having that freedom to decide what they want to do, and not the state or any other agency telling them that you shouldn't do this.
Allowed to go to a woman.
Yes, Ms. Jagmati, do you think that is one thing that is sort of really being, that is the one that is getting affected here, because women are being told that if you go to a male tailor, it is not going to be safe, and of course that is for her to decide, isn't it?
Yes, we must trust the personal choices of women, and to whom they trust, to whom they want to be with them, and at the same time, the point made by the Bombay man who was saying that there are Muslim tailors. Yes, there are Muslim tailors, and they are very good at this skill. But don't you feel that your daughters and your women of your house, they can't make difference between the ill intention or the dignified behavior? Why don't you trust your women? And let them do their things in their own way. We are demanding law against honor crime and honor killings. Till date, they are not listening to it. Whereas young girls and boys are being murdered. But at the same time, who has asked for this type of laws?
Okay.
Is there any data supporting this law
Okay.
based on the
Okay, point
logic
taken,
or
ma'am.
some
Mahesh, we
type
have
of
another
survey?
caller with us now. Mahesh from Odisha joins us. Mahesh, tell us, what are your views on this? Do you think that this is a good move, or do you think that this was something that could have actually been proposed after a little bit of more thought?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, according to me, it's a good opportunity, good step taken by the government, because women are feeling safe and they have more opportunity for skill development.
Okay. So that's what a lot of other callers also said. Going back to Nirmal Kaur, ma'am, we've had a lot of male callers, and most men seem to say that this is good for women. But as a women's panel here, what do you think, ma'am? Like, of course, leaving aside the skillability and the employment and the fact that there'll be more opportunities for women tailors to come up. What kind of impact will this have on young women in UP, in say Muzaffarnagar, or for that matter, Meerut?
The women who are confident, I mean, there should be no forcing. Women should be, she should use her own judgment.
Then why
go,
you
but
are
she should have a
enacting a
choice.
law?
Yes,
If women want to wear hijabs, naturally they are not going to go to male tailors. I mean, the whole liberal the ecosystem of the country is supporting wearing of hijab in education institutions. Those women are not going to go to male tailors, definitely.
Sara.
So my point is that they should be given a choice. And again, employment opportunities for women. And it is not a question of Hindu or Muslim. It's a question of where a woman is comfortable. If she's comfortable
So
using
you're
that,
saying
she
that it's
should be
about
allowed
a
to use
woman's
that.
comfort. That's a valid point. Another caller with us, Sara from Bareilly, joins us. Sara, what do you think about the UP Women's Commission's decision today? In fact, it is just in the proposal stage, but as an idea, do you like it?
Women's safety and their overall dignity and all, it's good, but they should think, more deeply about it. Since I'm a teacher, I would like to put forth that, say, in the labs and all, the same problem arises in case there's an improper touch in the labs and all. So do we have to have women instructors for the labs? I mean, maybe you can't have a teacher who has to be a female. Only then can females be taught. I mean, what do you do for that? Because improper touches or improper behavior could be anywhere, or the doctor. Then you'll insist on a female doctor for a female patient. I mean, doctors are supposed to touch. So that be logical. I mean, if that's the logic, we don't seem to be following.
Yes.
So that way we can't have male doctors for female patients.
Yes.
That would be more logical, because there are so many cases everyone reported.
Sir, as a teacher, do you think that talking to children is more important in this regard rather than putting these restrictions in place?
In terms of, say, the government puts in measures, checks and measures where women feel more comfortable reporting incidents where they feel they have been untowardly touched or maybe dealt in such a manner. That is something that is going to be a part of so many professions. So every profession, if this happens, then how do we go forward? For most professions need some guidance, and it can't be males for males and females for females. Say doctors or nurses, you can't be dealing with them, or the radiologist or somebody else.
Right.
It could be somebody who's taking a blood sample and we say, no, he didn't touch properly.
Right.
So how do we deal with all those?
That's a very valid point. In fact, that is going to be my main takeaway, that men for men and women for women is not going to work. In fact, it has to be made clear that it is made easier for women to report cases of harassment rather than put these restrictions in place. We also have Subha Shankar joining us from Ghaziabad. Ms. Shubha, what do you think about this new proposal by the Women's Commission in UP?
मैम, थैंक यू फॉर गिविंग द अपॉर्चुनिटी. इसमें मैं ज़्यादा ये बात करना चाहूँगी कि जैसे टेलर की बात कर रहे हैं, यूपी में ज़्यादातर मेल टेलर ही है और हर कोई ऐसे बदतमीजी नहीं करता है, और काफ़ी टेलर्स ऐसे हैं कि आप अपने आप नाप कर लो मैडम, ऐसे ऐसे करना है करके वो बता देते हैं. तो दैट इज नॉट अ बिग इशू. पर अंडरगारमेंट्स जहाँ पे सेल होती है उन दुकानों में यंग लेडीज, छोटी लड़कियां, वो कभी शर्माते हैं, कभी वल्नरेबल हो जाते हैं, सिचुएशन ऐसे बन जाते हैं। वहां पे फिर भी लेडीज एम्प्लॉय रखेंगे तो ज्यादा ठीक रहेगा। और उससे भी ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस देना चाहिए लड़कियों को और यंग गर्ल्स को सेल्फ डिफेंस के लिए कुछ मैंडेटरी ट्रेनिंग देना। इसके बारे में कोई भी सोचता नहीं है, ना तो यूपी ना तो दिल्ली, कहीं पे भी। और आए दिन लड़कियों की सेफ्टी के ऊपर बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क हमेशा होती रहती है, हर साल होती रहती है, हर विंटर पे ज्यादा होती है।
राइट,
अभी आने वाला टाइम विंटर है, उसके बारे में जरा सोच रहे ये लोग, ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा।
Right,
Thank
that's
you.
very important. Thank you all of you for joining me on this show. Thank you, Ms. Nirmal, and thank you, Ms. Sagmar, for joining me on this show, for all your wonderful insights. I mean, a few days ago, we saw this brutal rape and murder in Kolkata that shook the nation, and it just made it very clear that curfews, restrictions, and telling women what they must do, etc., aren't really measures for safety. In fact, they rob them of their autonomy, and that is something that we need to think about.